So today we're going to be going over 10 fragrances, 10 scents, 10 colognes that are so good that you're immediately going to want to grab a backup bottle after you smell them. Backup bottles are always one of those weird topics. Some people are for them, some people are kind of against them, and there are definitely two sides to consider here when it comes to whether or not you should purchase backup bottles. And there's many factors depending on the size of your collection, how much you wear the scent, and so on. And it's completely up to you. It's up to you to make that decision on your own. And let me clarify, just because I put these 10 fragrances in this video doesn't mean that I went and bought backup bottles of all of them, and I'm not saying that you should go buy these and immediately buy 2 right off the bat. This is kind of more of just a fun topic where they smell so good that you want to just get another bottle immediately, even though in a lot of instances it may not make a whole lot of sense if it's a more expensive scent or if it's one that you may not even burn through for a couple years now. But I know I can't be the only one that has smelled something and been so happy and so pleased with it that I just wanted to get another one right away, even though I didn't really need to because I have a brand new full bottle. Let's go ahead and start this one off with Crete Aventis Cologne. So this one has orange, musk, and birch, along with some vetiver as some of the main notes here. Yeah, when I recently got my bottle of this one, immediately I was already thinking, okay, you know, I'm gonna get another bottle. I started scheming, right? I started coming up with these thoughts and excuses in my head as to why I needed to buy another one right away. The reality is, I don't need to. I have still quite a bit left in my bottle. I have plenty of it, and I don't need another bottle right now. But there was something about it when I got that bottle in and I wore it and I realized that I really enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, I could go for another bottle. And for me, that's what I like. I like finding fragrances that really excite me like that to make me want to go out and buy another one right away. Next up, we have Loam on board. Bergamot, tonka bean, and amber are some of the main notes. So this is the newest scent in the Loam line, and this happens to also be kind of a summer-oriented one as well, and I really, really enjoy it. It doesn't really smell like Popeye or Superman, but it does do a really good job at being a fantastic summer edition. Hopefully this one is here to stay and it won't get discontinued like the other fragrances I just talked about, because I can see myself wearing this a lot in the summertime for years to come. And when I recently got this one in, I tried it and I'm like, wow, that is really solid. I knew it was gonna smell okay. I mean, let's be real, it's Le Male, it's Jean Paul Gaultier, it's a designer. They don't put out things that smell bad. There are tons and tons of flankers, and while I wasn't expecting it to smell terrible, I knew maybe it wasn't gonna be a mind blower. Not to say that Le Male on board is a mind-blowing scent, but it is definitely better than I thought it was going to be, which is pretty cool. It's a bit sweet, it's a bit bubblegummy, it's a bit fresh as well, kind of minty from a geranium note in here. I find it to be very pleasant, very playful for warm weather. And when I got that one in and smelled it, immediately I was like, yeah, I think this could be backup bottle worthy. And if it's one that you would find yourself wearing a lot in the summertime and going a bit heavier on the sprays, it might be one that you would want to grab a couple bottles of at some point. Next up, we have a cheapie, a really, really good cheapie. This one is Mont Blanc Starwalker. Bamboo, bergamot, and orange are some of the main notes. So this is a tropical, fun, fresh, fruity, citrusy, musky summertime scent. I've talked about it before and it's been talked about a lot. This is by no means a hidden gem or anything. Most of you probably have smelled this or even own it in your collection. But to me, it's a little bit of a Versace Man Eau Fresh inspired scent, or kind of just in that style. It's just ultra bright and fresh with a lot of musk. And even though it is super citrusy and bright, it's also masculine. You know, sometimes if you get into a fragrance that is very, very citrus heavy and even introducing some fruitiness, it can start to blur the line. But it does have a kind of a masculine, musky, woody undertone and base, which kind of keeps it still on that men's cologne spectrum. Like I mentioned a second ago, this one is very affordable. You can get it for, I want to say, around $25, $30 on discounters, or maybe I'm even on the higher side of that. I can't remember for sure, but I know it's very cheap. Or I guess I should say very affordable. Saying very cheap could imply that it is like, oh, cheap, not any good. It's very good. The quality and everything about it is surprisingly good for the price. Very affordable, top-notch scent, and this price point, it is amazing. And when I first smelled that one, I was like, yeah, I could benefit from having a couple bottles of this laying around. I mean, you could burn through it pretty quick in summertime. Next up, we have another niche fragrance, and this one is on the more expensive side as well, so by no means is this one that I have purchased a backup bottle of. I probably would say that most of you don't need to buy a full bottle of this, much less a backup bottle, just because again it is expensive. But from the niche house of MDCI, this one is blue satin. So this one has watermelon, bergamot, lemon, some woods. This essentially kind of smells a little bit like Zaro Parfum's Elysium and crete Aventis. Yay. I know, that's super exciting, right? It may sound boring, it may sound absolutely lame, but I've wanted this for a long time. I finally treated myself to a bottle, and I have to say, it is really good. The reason why I picked it up was because FragranceNet actually had them in. I don't even think it was that much of a discount on FragranceNet. I think it was $250. That might be what they retail for. I don't know 100% for sure, but I did get it from FragranceNet just because I already had a cart going with them and finally wanted to pull the trigger on it and get it. And I have to say, I am very happy with it. While it is not a brand new niche scent like you would expect for the price, and yes, the price is absurd for kind of what it is, which is a mix of a couple other popular niche fragrances out there. I find it to be very pleasant. My girlfriend absolutely loves it because she's a fan of the two fragrances that it smells similar to, and I have to say I love it as well. It's bright, it's vibrant, it's very juicy, it's very uplifting, it's impressive. Immediately when I sprayed that one on and tried it, I'm like, yeah, I want another bottle. And then I'm like, wait, $500 for two of these? I don't think so. Great fragrance though, and it's one that I will definitely be wearing a lot, and realistically the bottle I have will last me quite a while. Next up we have Tom Ford Ombre Leather. Leather, jasmine, and amber are some of the main notes. Really, it's all about the leather, no surprise there. The jasmine gives it a bit of a kind of a freshness. The original Ombre Leather has the leather, of course, but also has like a violet leaf, I believe is what it is. And by the original, I mean in the private blend. And so that kind of gives it this freshness, this sweetness a little bit, and essentially the jasmine here in this version is kind of doing what that violet leaf was doing. And yes, judging by the picture, I'm talking about the 2018 new re-release black bottle version, the one that you can get basically everywhere now. Technically, I do have two bottles of this, one in the new version, one in the private blend, but I still remember getting this one in, the new version, and smelling it and just being like, man, that is just so good. It is an incredibly smooth scent. You get that nice, gorgeous leather note in here. It's not too animalic or too strong. It is just right. It's really good, and it really fits into kind of the designer level here. Not too stanky or anything like that. Moving along, we have a Zaro Parfum Intense. Cinnamon, brandy, and amber are some of the main notes here in this one. So it maintains that original Zaro Parfum DNA, that aromatic fougere, barbershop, clean, well put together smell, simply adding a sweetness over top of it. A sweetness and a spiciness from the cinnamon, along with the boozy touch. This, hands down, in my opinion, has to be one of my favorite flankers out there. Not just in terms of the Zaro Parfum line, but in terms of everything. It is so well done, and brands won't always get it this good. Like, there are some flankers out there that are okay, some that are pretty good, some that are amazing, and some that suck. This one falls into the amazing category and then some. It's just the right amount of a tweaked DNA. It is the right amount of balance to make something that is incredible. I've been a fan of this one ever since I first got it. As soon as I smelled it, I knew I was onto something personally for myself that I really loved, and I was so happy that I got it. And I knew I wanted another bottle, and I actually have another bottle. It's still in the box, sealed up and ready to go, because the bottle I have right now is very low. So yeah, I'm true to my word here on this one. I have a second bottle of it, and actually as soon as I open up my next bottle, not long after that, I'll probably go ahead and buy another one, because I can burn through this stuff in the wintertime. This next one, we have a fragrance from the designer brand of Prada, and this one is Prada Lunarosa Black. Tonka bean and amber is really all you need to know about this scent. It is powdery, smooth, sweet, and even though it is powdery, smooth, and sweet, it's still a Prada, and it has this higher end, luxurious, well put together, and clean type of smell. Again, clean sounds kind of weird because of the nature of the scent, but it just does. You know, Prada does this really well, where all of their scents are polished and smooth and well put together and just smell like a gentleman. If you want a nice, sweet fragrance with a good amount of depth from Prada for fall and winter time, Lunarosa Black is amazing. I can't wait for it to cool off to start wearing this one more, along with some of the others in this video that I've been talking about. Don't get me wrong, and you've heard me say it hundreds of times on this channel, but summer is kind of my favorite time of the year. But I have to admit, wintertime, fall and winter, cooler weather is my favorite time of the year for fragrances. And it never used to be that way, but now it is. I mean, I've really grown to like these sweeter fragrances. They just make me happy. And there's something satisfying about just the cool, crisp air, wearing one of your favorite fragrances that kind of warm you up and embody you and just make you feel good. And Prada Lunarosa Black does that for me every time. Next up, we have another fall and winter fragrance, which I can't wait to wear, from Guerlain. This one is Loam IDL Eau de Parfum. Cherry, almond, and vanilla are some of the main notes. This is a stunner, a true masterpiece of a scent. And it's not that expensive either, which is another big selling point on this one, and just why it is so good and why I think a lot of you guys should at least try it, if not own a bottle. And of course, own a bottle only if you like it. If you don't like it, and you know you don't like it, you shouldn't go buy a bottle. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you get what I'm saying. Great, great fragrance. It took some time for me. I had to let it grow on me. I had to really let it come around, but now that I have, I'm obsessed. I can't get enough of this stuff. As soon as fall hits, that bottle's coming out. And I would 100% buy another backup bottle of it, or buy another bottle of it. I don't have a backup yet, but I'm probably going to pick one up here in the cooler months, just because I know I'm not going to burn through the whole bottle this fall and winter time, but I know I'm going to put a dent in it, and I like to have these things on hand. Kind of weird, kind of pointless for some. Even I think it's kind of excessive, especially given the size of my collection, but whatever. Next up, and we're running down to the end of this one, Ferragamo Womo Signature. Tonka bean, leather, and coffee are some of the main notes. I'll make this one quick because I've said it a million times, but it is the original Ferragamo Womo with a bit more of a masculine touch, which is awesome because the original is very, very sweet. This one adds in a nice masculine, smooth leather note and a nice roasted coffee note. Smells amazing. It goes in that gourmand direction just like the original. For me, I would 100% purchase a backup bottle of this one. It smells so good. And it's another one where in fall and winter time, I can't get enough. Even though it is very strong, you could burn through it quicker than you may think, and I know I can for sure, and that's why I'd like to have another bottle around. Last up, we have a summer fragrance. Yes, a bit more appropriate for this time of year. From John Varvatos. It is not Artisan Blue, which I've been talking about. It is Artisan Pure, which has been talked about even more than Artisan Blue, but whatever. Orange, clementine, and petitgrain are a few of the main notes. There are a lot more. What you need to know is that it is an orange, kind of floral, neroli smelling fragrance. The neroli, I believe, is coming from the petitgrain. It kind of gives off a neroli smell. That's what it's all about, and it smells to die for. Incredible. In high heat, this stuff is magical. I've only got one bottle at the time, and quite frankly, that is enough because they are 125 ml bottles, and I still have quite a bit left. But I would love to get another bottle because this one is kind of all over the place. It's a lot more expensive now than it was a while ago. It's like when it first came out, it was hard to get in the United States. Then it became in stock, and it's like it was a lower price, and then it went out of stock, and now it's back, and it's just kind of floating at a higher price point, to the point where it's not really kind of an affordable, almost cheapy anymore, which is kind of a bummer. And that's part of the reason why I haven't picked up another bottle yet, but I would like to get one just in case it does get hard to find again, and there's kind of, I'm in a pinch and I can't get any more of it. Regardless, I still have enough of it for now, and it's a great, great scent, but just be warned, when you smell this, you're probably going to want to grab a second one because it's so good. Alright guys, that's going to do it for me. That's 10 fragrances that are so good, you're going to want a backup bottle of. Whether you believe in backup bottles or not, just kind of a fun topic to kind of show you the fragrances that just make me genuinely happy and excited and make me want to go out and buy another one, even though I have a brand new full bottle right there that I just tried. If you want to grab any of these for yourself, they will be linked down below to discounters. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.